You probably have exactly the same problem that I do. How on earth do you know which method to trust? You get different advice from your teachers and different YouTubers. Now, I'm in the same position. How do I know that my advice works for everyone? Well, one way I'm testing it is instead of just making videos, I've created a course. And I'm going to share with you the results of some students taking my course. It's an unbelievably simple method. Let's dive into the screen and show you how my students are doing. So the most important feature is that in your exam practice, you write your explanations on separate lines like this student has done, and you also number them. Why? Because the number of explanations should match the number of marks in the question. So this student has written 20 points because they're doing question 4 of paper 1, 20 explanations because there are 20 marks. Now notice that this student isn't always using full stops at the end of sentences. Sometimes they're starting their sentences without a capital. These things don't count against you in the reading questions. They're only marked in question 5. But the other reason that I point this out is you can tell this is not a natural grade 9 writer. But when we look at the mark scheme, we'll see that this answer is worth 16 out of 20 marks, which is the first mark in grade 9. Yes, there's a massive spread for grade 9 marks because so few students get to this number of marks in the actual exam. Now, a top reason why your teacher might not be telling you to match the number of explanations to the number of marks is that the mark scheme doesn't use the word explanations. It doesn't appear at all. But in order to evaluate, you have to explain. In order to be perceptive and show understanding, you have to explain. In order to be convincing, you have to explain. So let's have a quick dive into what the examiner has written as an example of the quality of the answer to see what that looks like as explanations. All I've done here is copy, pasted it, and then split it up into the individual explanations, exactly the same order as they appeared in the examiner's quality version. And you can see there are 13 explanations. This box tells us what the examiners mean by their example. They say, look, it's an indicative standard. In other words, this is what the quality should look like. It isn't a model answer, and nor is it a complete response, which is really annoying, isn't it? But what that certainly implies is 13 explanations is only part of an answer. So you can see writing 20 explanations doesn't seem unreasonable now. That seems like a logical total to get all 20 marks. Now you're probably thinking your student, Mr. Salles, wrote 20 explanations, but they didn't get 20 marks. They scored 16. And you'd be absolutely right. You can read this answer by going to mrsallessubstack.com, and there I've explained why some numbered points don't score marks. I'm not going to delve into that here because the point is if you write the right number of scoring explanations, you are going to get the grades. A scoring explanation is one which is relevant to the question and doesn't repeat something that has already been said. So if we just look at this one, you can see that the student didn't get the mark because they were just repeating something that they'd said in a previous point. The next student taking my course decided to type her answer. So I'll just scroll to it here. This is also my newsletter. As you can see, her points are laid out and numbered, and we can then scroll down and see if she's got to 20. She's got to 21 there, then that annoying message from me to subscribe, and she's got 23 points. How on earth did she manage to do that? Well, she's done my course. This is a natural top grade student. You can see that she writes really, really well, but Nationally, hardly anyone gets above 18 marks on this question. In fact, AQA, as far as I can tell, have only ever released one 20 out of 20 answer to question 4 of paper 1. One in the history of this exam since 2017. But this student has nailed it first go after using my method following my course. And the advice I give her, which I would also give you if you have typed, and I like typing personally, is that you also have to then try it under exam conditions to see if you can write that much and that well using handwriting. If you'd like to read about the course, you will find it here. I'll put a link in the description. And the best place to find past papers and mark schemes is here. The next video, which will be most useful to you, is going to be how to get 100% on question 4 of paper 1. And that is the video coming up now.